Courtney Richards. It's always a pleasure having you here with me. And as time waits for no man, we're going to dive straight into today's message. We're going to explore a very popular piece of text taken from John 5. And I pray that it blesses you and brings some change. Today we're going to be reading from the King James Version. And I'm going to start from verse 2. And I'll read that for you now. And it says, "Now there is at Jerusalem by the sheep market a pool which is called in the Hebrew tongue Bethesda, having 5 porches. In these lay a great multitude of impotent folk, of blind, halt, withered, waiting for the moving of the water." Okay, now let's go back on that and explore it a little. First thing is, Bethesda means house of mercy. Second, in scripture, where we see the number 5, it actually means grace. And for the most part, we probably think, all right, what does that really mean? It's difficult to quantify what grace means. So we probably think of it as what we get as a result of it. And as a result of grace, we receive empowerment. So in other words, from grace, we get empowerment and power. So think of grace as being power. The next area is, it talks about the word impotent. Again, that's not a word which is used very commonly these days, but it actually means, in reality, powerless. So you had these people who were lacking power going to the house of mercy in order to receive power. You got that so far? Great. But then the scripture goes on and talks about 3 divisions of these powerless folk. And it starts first talking about the blind. And we've got to think of this in terms of those who are spiritually or mentally blind. If someone is blind, they lose the ability to see, to reason, to understand. So some of us are out there and some things have happened to us which has compromised our ability to understand, our ability to see and perceive things. That's someone who is spiritually blind. Next, we have those who are halt. And again, a halt is not a word which is used commonly, but it actually means lame. So think of it as a horse, a thoroughbred race horse, but with a broken foot or a damaged foot. A horse with a damaged foot, his power to run is compromised and it's reduced. And it's the same, you have people who have had situations and circumstances that have happened to them through life, and as a result, they find themselves hobbling through life, dragging their feet, and they're actually being constrained. Their effectiveness, their ability, and their power to move through things in life is reduced. And then we have the next area, which actually calls them withered. And when we think about withered, the first thing that comes to mind, well, in actual fact, the word withered there means dry. And the first thing that comes to mind is a spider. A spider, when it gets hold of its prey, it will get it and it will suck every juice out of this spider, out of the prey, until when it is completely dry and desiccated and withered. And that's what it means by that. So think of it that way. You had these people who were there, and it says that they were waiting for the moving of the water. Thinking of that, we have many people who, they're in this situation, and think of the man specifically in the story. Sometimes we're just waiting around in aimless hope. There is a difference between aimless hope and specific hope. Those in aimless hope, they're almost like thinking, like, I wish my numbers come up on the lottery tonight. It has no basis. It's just out there in the air and it's not doing anything for anyone. There's no specificity in that. So it doesn't get anywhere. So they're just waiting around hoping that something will possibly happen for them. That doesn't get us anywhere. We've got to realize, now Jesus comes on the scene, and we have to understand who Jesus is. He is the Son of God, filled with unlimited power. Absolute unlimited power. He comes, and in verse 6, he says something startling to the man in this story. And he asks him a question. He says, "Will thou be made whole?" Now you think, when God asks you a question, he's not asking you a question in order to find out information, because he knows everything. He's asking you a question because he wants you to know where you are. Not long after that, the man starts making excuses, saying, "Well, I have no one to put me in there." And I can imagine Jesus with a huge voice, rippling with power and might, looked in his face and says, "Arise and take up your bed and walk." And that shook him out of his situation. Do you want to hear that again? He said, "Arise, take up your bed." It almost probably frightened him out of his situation. Our time is running short today, so I'm going to kind of recap on some of the main points. There are three divisions. The three divisions of powerlessness are spiritual or mental conditions, afflictions, which we have to look at. And if we want to make changes there are a few things which we need to do. The first is that we need to come to a place of mercy and ask for what we need. The Bible speaks extensively about ask and he will give to you. If you are blind, you ask him to actually give you wisdom and understanding in order for you to perceive, for you to understand, and for you to move on. If you are lame and something has been broken or a situation has been broken in your life, ask him to correct that which was broken to make you whole. And if you find that you've been withered, that you ask him to actually rejuvenate you with his power, with his energy, and with his life, moving you forward. Importantly, the important thing is, next thing is, no more excuses. No more excuses. And then the last point is to act. When he gives you a command, act. Move on. Rise. Get out of the situation. If you can't do it, now our time is up. Now may the Lord bless you. May he keep you until next time. God bless you.